Hi, this is John from Repairs Merseyside. Just thought I'd do another short video really. This is about a mill we use, not all the time, very little. It can also be double. We use it also as a bit of a drill press really, just through certain things, not anything heavy. There's nothing heavy you can really do with a mill like this. As I said, as I will say, I'm no professional at all with the likes of lathes or mills. We only use them very briefly really. The likes of this mill, probably going to sort of be used for a couple of millimeters cut of any type. We've only got a sort of cheap set of cutters, bits at the moment, which as you can see from here. And also there's your Morse taper chuck. Also that there is an ER collet. Now we use the collets to do the milling work simply because you've got that side to side movement, which you're not going to be able to do that with a drill chuck, because obviously it's Morse tapered and it will just continually fall out all the time, which is not a good thing to do, because then you're going to hit the table and damage the table. We have a milling vise on it, not a very good one, just a cheap one, but it holds some plate work for us to do when we're just sort of cutting things from raw materials. But often we are finishing off with sort of files, going down in fineness, obviously, to get a good finish on clockwork. It's pretty handy for doing square things. It just does different things to the lathe really, which is good for us. We can, as I say, we don't use it very often, but when we do, we do. It's got a variable speed type of motor on it. Just switch it on. So your spindle speed can be taken anything from about, well, 150 to probably 3,000, which is quite handy. The rule of thumb, I believe, with the end mills is you can cut half the diameter of the end mill. So an example is, say the end mill is, say, 3 mil, you can literally take 1.5 mil at a time as you go back and forward, whether you're up milling or you're down milling. You can go off that as a time. I mean, in that at the minute, I think that's a 6mm. I've got to be straight, I don't really ever sort of take 3mm and do stuff like that. I will just take it easy all the time. I will just, nice and steady, taking it easy all the time. I mean, I find the finish is much better then. And there's a lot less sort of filing for us to do to bring it in true and right. We keep things to a minimum for us clockmaking. That's what it's about. I mean, it's steady but sure, and doing the job right for us. It's got the slide table, which, as you can take it from side to side or back and forward. Now obviously you do get mills with they're auto feed type stuff, where the table will move back and forward. We were also going to use this mill to do some clock wheel cutting, which we will do in the end, and I'm going to probably use either a dividing head or a table, a rotary table, to do that type of thing. The only downside to all this is that the bits for actually cutting clock wheels are so expensive, and you need quite a few of them, and you can't really go along the end of the very cheap stuff, because you just simply, they're no good. They're not good enough at all. The other way we could possibly go is using CNC. I think the World of Ward, they do a good dividing step motor type affair, which seems to be pretty good. The problem being, when you're cutting clock wheels or any type of cog really, you'd only find out you've made the mistake with your divisions on the last tooth, when you get one tooth which is, all the other teeth are okay, and then one tooth is either very thin or too thick or whatever. So maybe CNC is the way to go if you wanted repeat good results. That's just as I say, everything on here is just my opinion. I don't claim to be a professional. I don't, claim that this is the way you should do it. I don't claim this is the only way to do anything. All I'm giving you is my take on the tools we use. As I say, our situation is mainly hand tools, but we do from time to time need to use a bit of machinery, obviously, to keep the job flowing. We're not in that situation where we only need to repair one clock to make a living. We have to repair quite a few in order to make a living, especially the way things are going as well. So that's pretty much my take on that mill. It's a Champion mill, Imperial 16, made by the Chester company. I think I bought this, I think it was in Wrexham actually. At the time, I think I paid about £2,000 for it, or 2,200, something like that. But you can pick them up probably now 700 quid, I would imagine. You search around the likes of eBay, places like that. I'm sure you'll be able to pick one up. The thing is, you will have to travel to collect it because it's a heavy unit. Normally on the bottom there's normally a sort of drip tray for your bits of rubbish, your bits of scrap steel that come off, and your oil and stuff like that. I've taken that off just to give us a bit more space. Our workshops are quite small. We're dealing with a very, very small footprint in order to get our work done, but pretty adequate for us. We managed to get through quite a bit of stuff. So that's the mill we use. Nothing special, pretty lightweight, a little bit heavier than the very smallest mills. I mean, I can't imagine you must be able to take a couple of thou with them. I mean, I sort of work anything between 1 mil and 1.5 mil. I think the throat size of it is just between your Holden vice and the end of your mill, should we say. So this, I think this has got, it's got travel all the way down. It's got travel all the way down to the actual table. But I think you'd probably get something in of about 5 inches, I would imagine, with the travel it looks like it has. As I say, that there is a collar chuck, and it's got the screw thread here at the top, which it's secured that way. Yeah, and that obviously pulls it through, and it keeps hold of it pretty tight so that it doesn't come out and we've got no movement. I wouldn't say it's the most accurate mill there is out there, but I don't think it does too badly. It's accurate enough for us. As I say, we're finishing off every single time with files and stuff like that. I mean, it's not, so we'll leave a bit on, we leave a millimetre or so on so we can finish. Anyway, this is John from Clock Repairs Merseyside. Any questions? I'll do my very, very best to answer them. But as I say, I'm certainly no professional where mills are concerned and lathes are concerned. I can use them without a problem, but I certainly don't know the finer art of it all. But there you go. Okay, thank you.